David Howard Thornton is Steamboat Willie.
I think it's clear Screamboat didn't have any business being a theatrical movie. More so something you stick in a free site like Tubi or something. But with Steamboat Willie entering public domain and David Howard Thornton, aka Art the Clown, willing to play him, I think you know how that went. I'm gonna issue a spoiler warning. I usually don't do that, I figure it's a given, but in this case the movie wasn't exactly playing in every theater, so if you couldn't see it, there you go. But honestly, there isn't really a lot in terms of plot here. Look, if you're not in the camp of hating Terrifier for no reason, you may be expecting something with David to be equally or close to as good, but the ever-growing trend of classic characters becoming horror movies still isn't that successful. You know, as far as making a good movie goes, the Blood and Honey movies are pretty mediocre. But if you compare those to this and the other character he took on being the Grinch, this is still the better movie. The Mean One's failure was not his fault, obviously. In Screamboat, he brings it yet again, giving us another memorable portrayal, proving how talented he is. Unfortunately, it's really the only good thing we get acting-wise here. Again, that's to be expected, but everything involving these characters is awful. Hardly anybody can fucking act, nobody's remotely interesting, they have irrelevant traits that are forgotten about. Example being the guy who takes over as captain, he says a few things in that scene, and then dies in the next scene. A number of people that hint at having a purpose, but don't. Even the lead's boyfriend who doesn't want to be captain, but eventually accepts it, dies relatively soon after. And like I said, you really don't care. Then you have the annoying characters, like this birthday group who never ever shut up, who speak in this real annoying New York accent. That's the kind of thing that would be okay if their deaths really paid off, but they just don't. That means we sit through the agony for nothing, but the way people die in this movie is interesting. You sadly don't get that many memorable kills in this, there's a few but not many. I'm gonna assume the one hinted at is the blowjob themed death. Connect the dots. But for a movie like this, it should have been one of the main things. That's kind of the reason we're here, but on the positive side, I do like the way they're presented. While it is a gory movie, they don't show more than they have to. If you have the quality of Terrifier, you can do whatever you want and it looks great, but in this case, I think they have a nice balance. In the Mean One, everything looked awful, extremely fake. That's not the case here. I still wouldn't call it memorable, but they did do an okay job. The same cannot be said for most of the rest. When you're not watching somebody you don't know die, not much is happening in the movie. Didn't need to go over an hour and a half. There is a plot, mainly wanting to signal for help and not much else. The mouse is given a backstory in a black and white cartoon format, I did enjoy that. And there is a gimmick when the mouse is in love with the female lead, whose name I forgot, because she has a purse that matches his mate.
That's fucking stupid!
You would think because this thing is notably intelligent and she's clearly a human, that wouldn't be the case. But instead, it's so effective she can dress up just like her and then try and kill him, and fail, almost fall off the ship. But then the mouse pulls her back up because he still thinks it's her, despite trying to kill him.
Is this a joke?
And the anticlimactic ending is her stabbing him with scissors, and an extra scene when we see the mouse lives, and finally finding his mate, who looks just like him. Not a human, so what was he thinking? As you can see, there is no attempt to craft a remotely good narrative, and granted it wasn't expected. There are some decent ideas like this worker from the intro ending up being bad and working for the mouse. She rants about a subplot that goes nowhere, so I don't know. She's also killed by the mouse for no reason, so whatever. But they do slightly hint at her being bad, with the mouse's face in the back of her shirt, so I do like that. And there is one memorable scene when all the people on the boat are killed at once through electrocution, and given the way they look, their distinctive looks, you don't think that's gonna happen. There's some fun to be had knocking New York in this movie, I enjoy that, and a really funny line about how reusing the same stuff is easier, but the dull pacing and tacked on backstory really hold it back. It's the reason David Howard Thornton will never be truly appreciated being stuck in movies like this, but I still say it's not that bad. It can be entertaining, it has funny moments, some of the kills are decent, and they do look good, but the plot elements, characters, acting, and everything else is fucking awful. These things are held to a different standard. You cannot complain if you seek out or pay for this movie, but I'd say it's so bad it's good. This is a genuine so bad it's good situation. When you watch something, laugh at its stupidity, enjoy the elements that don't matter, that's kind of what it is. I'm not gonna say go watch it, but if you're into that kind of thing and you like these types of movies, Screamboat is not the worst one out there. I had fun with it. I'm not happy I had to seek out the theater. It shouldn't have been theatrical, but let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like the video, subscribe down below. I've got to see a Minecraft movie next, so it'd be appreciated a great deal. Also, the gaming channel is an option too. It has the same content with games, link in the description. I'm the analyst, and remember kids, look to the positives. They are there.